So here we go.
Yeah, and also I'll probably have to share a screen at one point.
So, is it back to the drawing board for the Jets? Did the signing of Chris Jones help that Chiefs defense? Speaking of defense, did that Big D put the NFC on notice? Well, we're going to try to find the answers to those questions and many more as we get y'all ready for week 2 of action here on Fantasy Football Fever. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Thank you for watching us here on YouTube and on Twitter. We're our good friend, Mr. John Flynn, the host of Hooked on Sports. And if y'all got Twitter, we'll check it out there as well. So, Flynn, how you doing?
I am good. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm doing okay. And say hello to our commissioner, John Natale.
Oh, greetings, everybody.
Yeah. So, I hate to ask you guys this question. I mean, I know I did right before the show, but are you guys still recovering after what happened Sunday night?
Yeah,
Oh
doing a
my
little
God.
better. I mean, I was expecting a loss, but I was at least expecting them to score.
But I mean, I think this. I think the silver lining is that it's only one loss. That's 15 other teams lost as well.
Right.
So I mean, so listen. I'd rather lose 40-0 than lose 40-37.
Close wins getting down to the last second. Well, I guess that could be kind of a double-edged sword. I guess you could say that. But anyway, what a great week it was. First week of the season is already in the books, and we're already going to go ahead and look ahead to week 2. But before we do that, we got to do our fantasy talk right now, talking about our fantasy league. And let me see if we can get that scoreboard on screen to show you the results of last week's games, or last week's matchups that we had. They should be coming up on screen here any second now. And there they are. Well, in the first matchup, our one of our newest players, David St. Dennis, had a good combination of Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, and Deshaun Watson. Watson did pretty darn good in that game against Cincinnati last week, but those three helped him get a 152.76 to 110.3 victory over yours truly. I decided to go ahead and start Bijan Robinson from Atlanta. Had the Saints defense, special teams, and I had AJ Brown on my squad. So just one matchup, one loss, but I'll take it with a grain of salt, I guess. The next matchup was Chubba Wumba, and I can't remember who that belongs to.
Right here.
Oh yeah, that's Italian. That's his team name for now. He took care of Lucas 137.14 to 92.66, thanks to a nice trio of Christian McCaffrey, Calvin Ridley, and Nick Chubb. So if they're good there. I had Elliott, Metcalf, and Connor for the three big performers for Lucas's team out there. In the third matchup, we had our man Casey with Team Texans, Super Bowl champs. He took care of our man Andrew St. Clair, total of 144.92 to 124.44. One of his main people was Stephon Diggs right there, got 26.2 points. Austin Eckler had 26.4. AJ Richardson had 22.92. leading the way for his team. Andrew had a Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, and the Steelers, the 49ers defensive special teams, but just came a little bit short on that one.
Yeah, and I think he got some duds from Saquon Barkley and Odell Beckham Jr. So because Saquon Barkley only had 9.3 points, while Odell Beckham Jr. only had 2 catches for 37 yards, and Casey won despite getting nothing out of T Higgins because T Higgins put a total of 0 points. He still Casey still won over the champ by 20 points.
So I guess someone had to put out an APB for T. Higgins.
Yeah, and also what helped Casey pull away was he had the Packers defense. They had a pick six in the fourth quarter against Justin Fields and the Bears. And Tyler Bass put up 13 points because he had 3 field goals, including a 50-yarder to send the game into overtime last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a 50-yard field goal is worth 5 points in fantasy.
That's right. The longer the field goal, the more points you score.
Correct.
Then we had Adam Oliver taking down Alex Putnam 144.24 to 102.38. Adam took advantage of that Dallas defense special teams 40 big points, the same as the score that the Cowboys put on the Giants with Patrick Mahomes and of course Mr. Smith there got 18 points for him.
Yeah, but Roquan Smith had 16 tackles for the Ravens.
Jeez.
16 tackles for the Ravens. That's what you call a beast.
Yeah, I mean that was a tremendous trade that Eric DaCosta pulled off during the trade deadline last year. That I think the Bears they had to give like a 2nd and 5th round pick, but boy was that worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely so. 16 tackles. Wow. That ball was up and down the field. Pollard, Madison, and Waddle were the top 3 finishers for Pizzle's team and the loss there. And finally, in the last matchup, the Beavis Blasters and the 1989 Travis Kelce.
Oh, the timing of the timing of that name could not have come any better.
Please explain yourself.
Okay, so we mentioned on draft night that we changed our names of our teams based upon some of the players we picked. So Natalie changed his name to Chubba Wumba because he drafted Nick Chubb, I believe. And then I was looking, and then I drafted Travis Kelce with, I believe, my first pick. He didn't play Thursday night. So I find that Travis Kelce was born in 1989. So which the only notable fantasy player that was born the year 1989, which also happens to be the name of an album and a song by Taylor Swift. And rumors are swirling now that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce could potentially be dating. So knowing that, knowing the subject of a lot of Taylor Swift's hits, 1989 Travis Kelce's version, the irony could not be lost on that.
Uh-huh.
That
sounds like a TMZ thing to me.
Yeah. And despite not having Travis Kelce, I wound up scoring the most points in fantasy thanks to my guy Tyreek Hill, 44.5 points.
44.5 points? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. 11 catches, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he was flat out awesome, and I'm very happy that I drafted him when I did because I knew I was going to need a top flight wide receiver to survive this year in our league, and Tyreek Hill delivered the goods. The number one receiver in fantasy in week number 1.
Uh-huh.
Gotta watch the cheating, y'all. Fastest man in the league right there.
Yeah, and also not included on that is I also got 17.7 points from Devontae Smith.
And of course, Mr. Trevor Lawrence got you 21.74 points, and Travis Etienne Jr. got you 21.4 points, leading the way to your very good victory over Dino,
Yeah.
who had Justin Herbert, Mike Evans, and the Baltimore defensive special teams leading the way for his fantasy squad.
Yeah, I was not. I didn't think that ETN was going to get to 20 points, but he had a touchdown in the second half in Jacksonville's comeback mount over Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
right now we are going to look ahead to our matchups for week 2. And we begin with a Lone Star State showdown. Of course, me and Adam, both residents of the great state of Texas. Right now, he is projected at 140.8. I'm projected at 131.7. Right now, his big three are Mahomes, Prescott, and Carr. Well, I've got Hurtsborough and Robinson. And next matchup is KC versus Natali. Natali right now has a projected total of 143.8 to 136.9. Projected leaders for Natali would be McCaffrey, Fields, and Ridley. KC's big three for now is Purdy, Richardson, and Eckler. Then the next one is David against the Beavis Blasters. Who's that again?
that's Dino.
I know.
Oh yeah, Dino. Yeah. Right now, David holds a projected total of 140.4, while Dino is 127.8. Projected leaders for David is Justin Jefferson, Deshaun Watson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Dino right now has Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, and Debo. Debo Samuel right there. For those of y'all didn't know the reference, I was doing the Debo Shuffle. If y'all remember Bob Skaggs with that song, the Lido Shuffle, well, I got the Debo Shuffle. Anyway, next matchup for next week. Good buddies here. Two of my horsemen are going at it next week. Got Lucas against Alex. Right now, Lucas has the edge 146.5 to 133.8. With Lucas having Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins, and Jamar Chase, while Pizzle's big three right now is Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, and Devontae Adams.
Oh my God, Daniel Jones! I mean, we will get into Daniel Jones's matchup against Arizona coming up later, but that'll definitely be a topic of conversation when we go through all the games and the matchups, and also the loser of this matchup is going to start 0-2. By the way.
Yeah. And this one here, we got Flynn versus Adam right now, or Andrew. Flynn, of course, with Tyreek Hill, Trevor Lawrence, and Russell Wilson as his projected three big stars. And Andrew has Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, and Saquon Barkley for his. So remember, we got a couple of days left. So make the right changes, and all of you players out there, make sure you make the right changes for your teams.
Yeah, and this is also a rematch of the championship match last year. So the first time I'm seeing him since he knocked me off in an upset in the championship game.
Oh yeah, what an upset that was.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that basically is our fantasy matchups for this week. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put in a little bit of a new kind of segment we're doing here. It's called Sit 'em, Bench 'em. I think it's sleepers, sitters, and starters. starters, sitters, and sleepers. I guess you could call it that.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Flynn actually came up with this idea. So, Flynn, go ahead and give us the info. Give us the 411.
Yeah, so basically, as you guys, so as for some of you, you guys know that we've come up with plans to direct this more for a fantasy setting because if you've seen our podcast in the past on Tim's channel, because I'm also speaking to this on my Twitter channel right now, but something we kind of felt off with our show was that we spent a lot of time with the picks segment, but which isn't really related to much at all in terms of the fantasy realm of things. So we incorporate more fantasy. So what Natalie has or can do is that we'll is that after we go after he gives us his picks for so who you should start and who you should sit. Then we'll go into what we did last week, and that was go through the matchups with a graphic view of it. So Natalie, you sent me through PM earlier your stardoms and situms for week number 2 of the
Yes, I did.
National Football League. So I think it'll be best if we can full screen the tally, and then he can take away with what he's thinking.
All right, I didn't really come up with any sitters, starters, or sleepers, but let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and put Natalie in the spotlight right now. It's all you, bro.
Alrighty. Sure. Well, I was looking at the schedule. I was trying to compare the matchups and stuff. My first, I have three from each group, 3 starts, 3 sits from each position. Quarterback, running back, tight end, so on and so forth. I'm going to start on the quarterback side. My first start is going to be Justin Herbert. I think he's going to have a pretty strong game. The Titans' defense isn't particularly great. So, yeah, for that reason alone, I think you should definitely start Justin Herbert. My next starter is going to be Tua Tagovailoa from the Dolphins. Granted, the Bills have a pretty good defense, but they're off to a rocky start right now. Yeah, Tua had a fantastic game, and he's looking to have another good one. And my third one is going to be C.J. Stroud. He put up a very good first impression, and with the Colts projecting to finish with one of the worst records in the league, I think he's a very safe starter. All right, now let's pivot over to the running back side. My first start is going to be James Cook from the Buffalo Bills. He's the clear running back 1 now since Devin Singletary's gone. And they're playing the Raiders. Raiders aren't good at all. They're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel for the AFC. So I think that's a pretty safe bet. My second one is going to be Bijan Robinson. He had a fantastic debut. Yeah, maybe not too particularly great running wise, but he did have a receiving touchdown, which was huge. And I think he's going to have another good game. And my third one, probably Derrick Henry. It's probably more of a safe pick, but I think he's a must start in almost every game. You can't go wrong with him. All right, now let's go over to the wide receivers. I'm going to start with Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, I think he's definitely promoted as a number 1 receiver now. Yeah, Deebo Samuel. He doesn't seem to be the player he once was. Ayuk had 2 touchdowns last time. So, yeah, if he keeps this up, I think he's the number 1 receiver now. So I say, yeah, watch out, Deebo. I think Brandon Ayuk has taken your job. And considering the Niners are playing the Rams, I think he's a very easy stardom there. Let's see. My next one, Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not saying this because he's on my fantasy team. I'm saying this because he had a very nice debut. Despite not getting any touchdowns, I want to say he had 7 or 8 catches, if I remember correctly. He put up about I think 15 fantasy points roughly. And let's see, who are they playing here? Let me check my notes. And the Ravens are playing the Bengals, so that can kind of go either way, but I think he's going to have another nice day. And let's see, who do I have as my third one is T. Higgins. Yeah, he's definitely due for a bounce back. I mean, despite not getting any catches, he had 8 targets, so he's out there. It was just a rough day for him. He's definitely going to do better. All right, now let's move on to the tight ends. My first stardom is going to be Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe he put up a dud last time too, if I'm not mistaken. I definitely don't see him getting 2 duds in a row. And the Vikings have just an average defense, so I say ride with Goddard. Next one is going to be, if he's healthy, Mark Andrews. He should be pretty clear to play. They have a very nice core out there. He's definitely going to maintain his number 2 overall status in the league. My third one is going to be a bit of a sleeper, but I'm going to go with Sam Laporta. He put up some pretty decent numbers last time around, and I think he's only going to get better. I would say, yeah, take a chance on him. Let's see. Now let's go on to the defense. All right, man. My first starter for the defense, Tim, you're going to love this one. The Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Yep. I mean, with the way they demolished the Giants, I think they're going to do the same. They might do the same thing with the Jets, considering that they're pretty short-handed now. I cannot see Zach Wilson standing up to that defense. Next up is going to be the 49ers. They're a top 5 defense for a reason. And let's see, who are they playing here? I've lost track here. Who are the Niners playing?
The Rams.
Oh, there you have Rams. Yeah. Yeah, the Rams have one of the worst offenses in the league. So, yeah, that's 49ers, I think, are definitely a clear start there. And my third one is actually going to be the Baltimore Ravens. This one can kind of go either way, but they're fairly tough. I mean, that whole division is stacked, so they can go either way. I mean, they're playing the Bengals. Bengals are due for a bounce back, but I don't think they're going to get it right away. I mean, despite me saying that the Bengals are going to be your Super Bowl winners, I'm still going to start the Ravens defense here. And for the kickers, these were kind of random choices here, but kind of crunching the numbers. I have Yanhu Koo, Jason Myers, and Justin Tucker. All right, now we're going to start with now for my sit-ums. My first sit-em is going to be Zach Wilson. It's going to be.
I kind of expected that.
It's going to be very tough against this Dallas defense. He lucked by the first time, but I don't think he's going to get by a second time. And my next one on the list is going to be Matthew Stafford, basically for obvious reasons. When I was bringing up the Rams, having one of the worst records in the league, he still might not have his main weapon. He's not going to have Cooper Kupp yet. There is a promising wide receiver, even though I have him as a sit-em. I'll get to him in a moment. But yeah, he just doesn't have the weapons right now. And my third one is going to be Mac Jones. The Dolphins' defense is a lot better than most people think they are. Despite they don't have Jalen Ramsey right now, their defense is still very strong. I could see the Dolphins stealing a victory on the Patriots' home turf. And now for my running back sit-ems. My first one is going to be Najee Harris. Not saying the Steelers are bad or anything, but I'm going to admit I was wrong here, but I think the Browns' defense is pretty underrated.
Told you.
Yeah, I'm willing to admit that I can't change my picks now. I'm admitting that the Browns are better than people think.
Heard about it.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson proved me wrong. I mean, I thought their offense was still okay, but having Nick Chubb and whatnot. but I just didn't think their defense was that good. But now I think there's some competition. I can make an argument for almost anybody winning that division now.
Easiest first guess.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And where was I? So yeah, Najee Harris is my first sit-em. My second sit-em is going to be Brian Robinson of the Washington Commanders. It's very hard to figure out who's the 1 and who's the 2 here, but neither one of them are good. Neither Robinson nor Gibson, I think, are good choices here to play, considering that they're facing the Broncos. The Broncos' defense is pretty
Denver.
respectable, even though they're not that good. Well, Broncos' offense is So that was a tough one, but I'm leaning towards sit for them. And we have Dino wants to say hi. Hello, Dino. And my third sit-em is going to be Rashad White of the Bucks. I just can't see him having a good game for some reason. I think that the Bears defense is maybe slightly underrated. I could see him losing yardage a lot. I don't think he's going to get I can't see him getting more than 75 scrimmage yards here. But we'll see. All right, now let's start with my wide receivers. My first sit-em is going to be Terry McLaurin, kind of similar to why I'm sitting Robinson. I just don't think they're going to have a good game against the Bears. Let's see. There we go. This is the guy from the Rams I brought up earlier. Puka Nakua is my second sit-em of the week. Yeah. Despite him having a good game, he had a very impressive debut. I'll give him a lot of credit for that, but there's no way he's going to put up those numbers against the 49er defense. Will he probably get the most catches on the team? Yes. Most yardage? Yes. It's not going to mean much. That 49ers defense is just too good. And my third sit-em is going to be Romeo Doubs. Despite Green Bay winning, I believe, their offense is still a mess right now. We still don't know what's going to happen with Christian Watson. If he ends up playing, I think Doubs will be targeted a lot less. He won't have much time to get receptions. So I think he's a safe sit there. All right, on to tight ends. My first sit-em is going to be Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers. The Steelers will make it competitive, but like I said earlier, I'm admitting I'm wrong. Browns defense underrated. And my second sit-em is going to be Tyler Higbee of the Rams. As I said earlier, the Rams are a mess. I definitely wouldn't start the Rams in this case since they're playing the Niners. If it was another team, he would be a starter potentially, but he's definitely a sit-em here. And let's see. And my third one is going to be Greg Dulcich. He's a fine sleeper if you're desperate, but he hasn't really made that much of an impact. So he's my sit-em there. And my sit-em defenses this week are going to be the New England Patriots, the Rams, and the Jets. And then my sit-em kickers this week are going to be Cairo Santos, Chad Ryland, and Dustin Hopkins. And yeah, those are my starter and sit-ems for the week.
All right, very well done, Mr. Flynn. A lot of information to digest there. Hey, Mr. Natale, thank you for that. Hey, Flynn, before we get to your starters, sitters, and sleepers, we have some fantasy questions. This first one comes just from Blue Prey. Do I trade Judy for Waller? Wide receivers are Diggs, Wilson, Samuel, Watson, and Judy. My only tight end is Higbee. He's in a PPR draft league, so he wants us though to trade Jerry Judy for Darren Waller.
Yeah, I know the answer to this, but I want to see what Natale thinks.
Right. Could I put up the question on the screen? So. I picked up a few words. I couldn't get all of it.
Okay, he's want to know if he should trade Jerry Judy for Darren Waller. His wideouts are Diggs, Wilson, Devo Samuel, Watson, and Judy. He only has one tight end, that'd be Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, but there is a clear and obvious
So,
answer
so
to
he's
this.
saying,
So he's giving up Judy to
so he's
get
saying he
Waller.
wants to trade Judy and get Waller?
Yes.
Give up Judy to get Waller. Oh, yeah. I would say so. I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course you
Darren
you
Waller's
got to do this.
no worse than a top 5 tight end.
Yeah, and also Darren
Yeah.
Waller's going up against
Absolutely.
Darren Waller's going up against the artist formerly known as the Arizona Cardinals this week.
Cardinals.
So yeah, I mean, is this person out of his mind? So
Oh.
do it.
Well, they say they're all for it, bro. Craig. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your question. We have another one now from Bencho. I have Sutton and Judy on the same team. I also have Devontae Smith. Which Broncos wideout should I trade or keep?
So you have Sutton and Judy on the same team. You also have Devontae Smith. I feel like I feel like before he got hurt last year, I thought Russell Wilson had something going on with Cortland Sutton. In training camp. So, but for now, I would keep Sutton.
So basically, keep Sutton and drop Judy.
I already have Judy.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll probably hold on to Sutton. That's basically what we're saying. So. Thanks for the question. Thanks for watching. Anybody else have any questions? Feel free to join in the comment, put some in the comments or in the live chat right there. We'll see if we can get to those. But thanks for those questions. Now, let's get to Mr. Flynn. Let's put him in the spotlight right now as he gives his starters, sitters, and sleepers.
All right, so we're going to go through the jugular here, and so I'm so for my intents and purposes, I'm going to leave out the obvious, which is like the Patrick Mahomes, the Jalen Hurts, and all of that.
Right.
So I want to give you I'll give you one stardom instead of for each position. So my start of the week is I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of the New York Football Giants, but it's got to be Daniel Jones. I mean that I don't think the Giants could have played any worse than they did on Sunday night against the Cowboys. Giants going to go from one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the best defenses, maybe the best defense in the NFL, to the worst defense in the NFL. It's going to be night and day between the Cowboys and the Cardinals. So Daniel Jones, I think, is going to have a monster game against the Arizona Cardinals. So in terms of the running back position, there are a bunch of them that I think you could keep your eye on, but I'm starting Aaron Jones, running back for the Green Bay Packers. So it became apparent that the Packers are going to run their offense through Aaron Jones because we saw that with his big playability, Jordan Love relied upon him in the passing game, and he had a long touchdown reception. So I think so Aaron Jones against the suspect Falcons rush defense. Mind you, the Falcons rush defense is better than last year, but I still think there's going to be opportunities for Aaron Jones to take care of business. Most certainly on that front. Well, wide receivers. My starting for wide receiver is Devontae Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles because look, Devontae Smith could very well be the number one wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. So this upcoming season, I think he had more points this week than AJ Brown did in their game against the Patriots. and then going up against the Vikings secondary, which is completely rebuilding. There is very little talent on that defense. I think Jalen Hurts is going to find is going to dial up some pass plays. I think Nick Sirianni is going to do a lot in the passing game early on to get ahead uh, and try to get a blowout fashion here. So I think Devontae Smith is going to be my pick to start here for um, in this game for the Philadelphia Eagles, and if you have them, definitely be able to take care of that. Now, so I'm going to start. I'm going to look at Dalton Kincaid as my starting for tight end because I still have issues with the Raiders covering tight ends. I think that Josh Allen is going to come out angry. I think the Bills are going to come out angry on a short rest. Going for the Jets defense, the Raiders defense is like night and day, similar to what the Giants are doing from Dallas to Arizona. I think Dalton Kincaid's going to have 60 yards receiving and a couple of touchdowns. So that would make up for at least 20 points in fantasy. I think Dalton Kincaid is the guy who you want to start at tight end if you have him. Now, in terms of the defense slash special teams, I'm with Natalie on this. I'm starting the Cowboys, the defense slash special teams in one of my leagues because that defense going up against Zach Wilson and that offensive line, I just don't think it's a fair fight. So I'm going to start the Cowboys defense slash special teams on that front, and then in terms of a kicker. I'm really thinking about this, but I'm gonna go to the Saints Panthers matchup and start Blake Grupe from the New Orleans Saints. And I feel like it's going to be a tight game. I think that both these defenses are I thought they played very well given the circumstances on Sunday. So I think Blake Grupe is going to be called in for some field goal attempts. In a close game, I think the game script's going to call for a conservative action there. So yeah, so my guy to start for the kicker is Grupe of the New Orleans Saints. Now, in terms of my settings for the week, my set of the week of for this is going to be Zach Wilson's a little too obvious for this one, so I'm gonna go with Jordan Love here. I think Jordan Love is gonna fall back down to earth a little bit after the high from the week one win against Chicago. I think that the Falcons are a much better coach team. I can't believe I'm saying this. I said in the podcast that Matt Eberflus did a terrible job getting his team prepared for the game, and he could very well be fired at the end of the year. And when we did our coaches fired segment, I initially didn't include Eberflus, but I did when I discussed it on Hooked on Sports last month. So I think Jordan Love is gonna there's gonna be a reality check for the Green Bay Packers. In terms of sitting a running back, I'm going to go with Alexander Madison of the Minnesota Vikings because him going up against an Eagles defense that's going to stop the run. I think that's gonna cause some problems unless if you're in a PPR league that they employ him in terms of the passing game, which I think they got to do if they want to take down the Eagles and someone in the short route if T.J. Hawkinson is taken up due to coverage. So I would sit Alexander Madison if you can, but I really don't feel great about this because my RB2 in my other league is Alexander Madison. I really got to consider alternatives, which I don't think are pretty good over there. All right, in terms of the wide receivers, I'm going to I'm thinking of sitting DJ Moore because he's going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a member of the Chicago Bears. Because of course the Buccaneers know DJ Moore from his days in Carolina, seeing him twice a year there. And the Bucks are going to have a hard time allowing Justin Fields to get to DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney and company. So I think Bears wide receivers, especially DJ Moore, I think are ones whom you want to sit there. And speaking of the Bears, I'm also would sit Notre Dame grad Cole Kmet from the tight end position for the same reasons, because I think the Buccaneers did a very good job in the circumstance of containing T.J. Hawkinson. I think they're going to do the same thing with Cole Kmet. In terms of defense slash special teams on who you want to sit, I'm going to sit the Arizona Cardinals the defense. And I'm also going to bench the Baltimore Ravens defense because I think the Bengals are due for a big day after that the Browns neutralized everything that they had, and I still have questions about the Ravens defense, which the Texans weren't able to expose last week, and in terms of a kicker who I'm planning who I would plan on sitting, um it's going to be Greg Joseph of the Vikings. I don't I think it's going to be situations where the Vikings are going to be in 4 down territory a lot. So I think that fewer field goal opportunities for Greg Joseph.
All right, so so that's basically the starters, sitters, and sleepers right there. He kind of came in late, but better late than never. Our good friend Dino is with us today.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, buddy?
Not too bad.
All right, good to have you with us here. All right, so now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the NFL matchups and the tell the tape for each of those teams. We're going to start with the Thursday night game. That'll be the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. And very nice work on the thing there, Flynn. Very nice.
Yeah, and for some of the games we have the projections up there, but then as we go along, there are some blanks that we're going to fill in together. So for the time being, these are our projected numbers for our scoring. Because you can see Jalen Hurts, we're projected at 28 points. That's a good chunk of points right there.
That's going to be.
And then you got Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. You have 3 of the top 9 receivers in fantasy from a year ago. You have 2 of the top 11 tight ends that'll be featured in this game. And then 2 of the top 6 quarterbacks in fantasy from last year. Because week 1 can be kind of flukish, so we're still using the rankings from last year for intents and purposes. And so...
Yeah, it looks like that Vikings defense is going to have their hands full with that Eagle offense right there.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that's basically how we're looking right there. Sorry. Justin Jefferson projected to do pretty good with 21.1 points. Dallas Goedert, I think I have him on one. I have him on the fantasy football Fever draft fantasy team, so I think I have him there. And so that's basically how the tail of the tape sets up for the Thursday night matchup. Let's go now to the Sunday slate of the games here, if you would, Mr. Flynn.
Yeah, so let's go to Sunday's game between the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons, and we said we're going to start filling in some blanks as we move along right here. So let's start with the Packers. I mean, Jordan Love at 18.3. I think it's going to be a little bit lower than that, as I suggested. It's suggested in the fantasy realm of things. Aaron Jones, I really like this number. I think it could be a little bit higher. I mean Christian Watson, there's a Q next to it, so we're going to see about him if he's ready to go. If not, it's going to be Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed that are going to be responsible for some of the pass catching along with Luke Musgrave.
Yeah,
And
Aaron
then
Jones is also questionable. He has an ankle injury.
I know it. I know that's going to be an issue there as well. So now we'll fill in the blanks together with the Falcons. So Desmond Ritter is at 14.3. So Bijan Robinson is projected at 16.2 points for Sunday. Tyler Algier, I mean, I can't believe I did this. 10.5 points for Tyler Algier. Let's see, Drake London and Matt Collins are the projected top wide receivers. So Drake London is projected at 10.6, while Matt Collins is projected at right now at 6.0. Kyle Pitts is projected at 9.2. Then the highest rated next available, who you probably won't be starting anyway, is Cordell Patterson at 2.9. So if you're looking at Bijan Robinson, you're looking at Drake London in deep leagues as a potential wide receiver too. I definitely think that's going to be one of where you should be considered on that.
Okay, so I heard the tally mention that Jordan Love may come back down to earth after taking care of those Bears, and I saw on Facebook there was a document that was signed. Well, it's actually a fake one. Actually, it's where Aaron Rodgers transferred the ownership of the Chicago Bears to Jordan Love.
Yeah. I mean, just to think that Packers fans thought they were done with the quarterback after Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, but Jordan Love had a QBR of over 70 in the victory over Chicago.
All right, well, yeah, it looks like the Falcons have a great offense, but the Packer defense is just a good bit better. So that offense in Atlanta is probably going to have some few issues here and there.
And we'll see if those numbers hold up in that one. By the way, the Falcons only gained 30 yards of offense, and they still won by 14 points. By the way,
Crazy.
Yep. So let's turn our attention down to the Vegas Raiders and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Josh. I mean, I think 29.1 is a reasonable number for Josh Allen, because he's going up against the Raiders defense that's ranked 31st last year, and even though they found a way to win against Denver, I'm still not sold on the Raiders whatsoever. In terms of their defense and with them winning games, because even though they beat the Broncos on Sunday, but Jimmy G is projected at 17.1, Devontae Adams at 20.7, Jacoby Myers who had a monster game, so he had 2 touchdown receptions in the win over Denver last week, but he's right now it's still projected to give you 12.1. Josh Jacobs 15.7 over there, and then of course Stephon Diggs he had like 26 or so points on last night against the Jets. James Cook, I think they got to let him cook, and then Dalton Kincaid, I think he's going to score more than the 8.3 that he's currently projected at scoring, and then the rest of the numbers are those that you can see on your screen.
So you got a top 3 defense for the Raiders and a top 10 defense for the Bills. So this one will be very interesting. Next one, sir, we have, who do we got?
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting game. No, so let's do this one first.
All right.
The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. And I mean, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I think that's one of the top QB matchups of the weekend. And of course, the big omission here is that J.K. Dobbins is out for the season after he tore his Achilles in the victory over Houston on Sunday. So I mean, that I think that's going to be a monster deal here when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. With that tough Baltimore has had that team has had to be in the top 10 in defenses for at least the last 20 or so years, even in the days of the great Hall of Famer Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
I mean, he obviously has left. He has left some huge influence on these players right here.
it's up. I mean, you also that the Ravens they've had Calais Campbell. He's now gone. Matthew Judon now gone. Marcus Peters. I think he's still there, but there are some questions to me concerning parts of the defense that I think uh, that they didn't have to worry about against Houston, but against a hungry Cincinnati Bengals team. And as you can see with some of the projections, I think you kind of wonder what's going to happen on that front.
I love I love the matchup between Beckham and Chase. That is going to be a good matchup for everyone to keep their eye on.
Yeah.
Next, sir.
All right, now we're gonna go to the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions, as and the Seahawks got gashed on defense because they gave up 426 yards of offense to the Rams on Sunday, and you have Gino, you have Kenneth Walker, who's still RB1, DK Metcalf, um,
Marvin Jones is back with the Lions, huh?
yeah, Marvin Jones, but he's WR3 on the charts. So because Josh Reynolds made some big catches on that drive that won the game for the Lions on Thursday night, so he's been bumped up to WR2. And David Montgomery actually had more say in the rushing attack than Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think that's probably going to evolve as the season goes on here. I mean, you still have Goff, you still have Amon St. Brown, Sam Laporta, who Natalie talked about. I think Natalie says he's in for a monster game.
Okay, we just got a comment from a viewer here.
Oh,
Orange Reef,
Messi is
Messi
better
is
than
better than Aaron Rodgers.
oh my God!
Is he talking about Lionel Messi?
Yeah,
He's comparing a soccer player to a football player.
If there's a contest of who can enter their Achilles the fastest, Aaron Rodgers won.
I got it now. Oh my goodness, that one just went right over my head there. That was a good comment there, buddy. Good comment.
it's it. And what was it? Did I see something that said that Aaron Rodgers hosted more episodes of Celebrity Jeopardy than Snap than plays played as a Jet?
I didn't see it somewhere, but if someone's got it, let us know.
Yeah, I mean that was just a pathetic mess, or just a total and complete mess.
Yeah. This
I don't
season's
know why
definitely
why they had to have all those people. Who'd you have? You had Aaron Rodgers, you had Joe Buck, you had Mike Richards, who was the executive producer at the time, and of course now you got Ryan Bialik and Ken Jennings, which I think is doing all right. So basically, there's your tail of the tape for the the Seahawks and the Lions. Next matchup, sir, who we got?
Yep. So here's your next matchup, Tim.
Oh, good lord. I mean, I mark this as my garbage game of the week.
Trash has got to go.
But anyway, we gotta somehow talk about this. Stroud and Richardson, two rookies going head to head here.
I mean, they were the second and fourth overall picks. So I mean, Michael Pittman's the only one that, and maybe Damian Pierce, if you're in a 12 or 14 team league, is someone you could potentially start this week. But there's nothing much much to write home about this.
I still can't believe there's 2 Monday Night Football games.
So I mean, ratings obviously. I know.
Right. It's all about the money in this league now.
It's I mean, yeah. You could tell me.
I wish they were at different times in the afternoon.
Yeah. But.
Not. I mean, I wouldn't write a book report about it. So, all right, can we throw out this trash?
All right.
Next matchup. Oh, now this is going to be very, very interesting. The Chiefs are heading to Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Look at those numbers. Mahomes still number one. 28.1 projected points. That is still very respectable. Trevor Lawrence, 21.8. I wouldn't sneeze at that either. And look at that. Travis Kelce. He's still questionable, but hopefully he could be ready for game time. Projected at 16.8. Set my hat to that. I mean, the youngster Zay Jones, the rookie, projected 11.9. He may pull some weight for the Jags right there.
No, I mean, Zay Jones has been in the league for a little while now, but it's Calvin Ridley who came back triumphant last week.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley, welcome back, buddy.
Yeah,
we got some very close ranked defenses and special teams there. Then we got Butker against McManus. So let me see your wideouts. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, yes, I agree with him. Sky Moore. Kadarius Toney.
Oh my God.
I'd say give him one more chance. Give him one more chance. I mean, how do you drop 3 passes, and one of them is like surefire 20-yarder for a first down, which would have gotten in Harrison Butker's field goal range.
Yeah, and then you also have the tip. Did you also have the tip pass that which led to a pick six?
Right. Well, I'm going to give Tony one more chance.
All right, if you say so.
Does that player seriously have the same name as that Packer wideout, Christian Watson?
I'm not sure, but this will be an interesting game. On to the next matchup, sir.
All right, so this is where we're going to start filling in the blanks together here. So, we're gonna. I'll give you the numbers as we go along. So Justin Herbert is projected at 22.6 points here. The Chargers defense / special teams is projected at 10.7. Cameron Dicker, or a kicker, is projected at 8.6 fantasy points. And then we go along. Austin Eckler is projected at 18.7 points. Joshua Kelly, 8.2. Keenan Allen is projected at 14.5. Mike Williams, 12.5. Gerald Everett, the tight end, is at 7. Quentin Johnston, the wide receiver, out of TCU, who was part of that national championship game team last year. So he winds up getting a projected total of 6.2. So we're gonna go ascending here for the Titans. Nick Folk is projected at 8.1. The Titans defense slash special teams is projected at 8.6 points. So that then going through all the flex numbers with Derrick Henry's projected at 17.8. DeAndre Hopkins is projected at 14.6. Traylon Burks 9.8. Chigoziem or Okonkwo is the tight end. He's projected at 7.9. Um, let's see. Nick Westbrook in Kane is projected at 7.1. TJ Spears, who actually might have been a bigger part of the Russian attack than previously thought, he is projected right now for 6 points, and then Ryan Tannehill is projected at 18.1 points. So you could look at the big numbers from Eckler and Derrick Henry and Herbert. You can argue is a little bit low here, but but nonetheless, you have you have some big numbers there. It could lead to a high scoring game if the two teams are coached properly. Now we go to this. Now we go to this game, which we got the Chicago Bears and against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Justin Fields is projected at 21.4. Cairo Santos, the kicker, is projected at 7.9. Bears defense slash special teams is projected to score right now at 9.5 points here. Then we're gonna look at the top players here. Khalil Herbert is projected at 9.9. Deontay Foreman is projected at 4.5. DJ Moore is at 11.6. Darnell Mooney is projected at 8.5. Cole Kmet is projected at 8.1. I feel that's going to be a little bit lower. And then Chase Claypool is currently projected at with a total of 7.4 points. And now for the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is projected at 18.6. Rashad White is currently projected at 15.1. Let's see. So we have a new RB2 who is a newcomer. So Chase Evans is knocked out for the time being, and Sean Tucker is going to be is right now the projected RB2 for the Buccaneers, and he's projected at 5.3 points. Chris Godwin is projected at 13.8. Mike Evans is projected at 13.6. Cade Otton is at 6.5 points on his end, and then the next highest rated player is Trey Palmer, so who is a wide receiver, and he's projected at 4.3 points. I believe he's also a new incomer. So in terms of the defense slash special teams, the Buccaneers defense slash special teams is at 11.4, and Chase McLaughlin is projected right now at 8.2.
So Tucker and Palmer, a couple of young guys getting in there. Darwin and Evans pulling their weight for the Bucks. Justin Fields at 21.4. That's the projection totals for each of the defenses. Kind of leaning toward the Bucks a little bit, but who knows over there. Next matchup, let's go to where we're going now. We're going to
how about this one?
All
right. So I want to see Natalie's potential reaction to some of these projections and what they think. First of all, we'll start with first of all, we'll start with Daniel Jones, who's projected at 21.0. The Giants' defense / special teams is projected at 11.8 points. Graham Gano is projected at right now at 8.3. So, and then Saquon Barkley is projected at 18.6 points. Matt Breida is at 3.1 points. Darren Waller, the tight end, is projected right now at 11.2. And then we have then we have Isaiah Hodgins, who is 7.5. So right now we have we have Paris Campbell at 6.3, and then we have Darius Slayton, who is projected at 6.5 points. So you could speak for what you want about the Giants, but this is where the Giants are at right now. So then in terms of the Arizona Cardinals, so who will be playing their home opener on Sunday. Right now they have James Conner projected at 15.0 points, Keontae Ingram at 4.0, Hollywood Browns at 12.1, Rondell Moore at 7.9, Zach Ertz 8.7, Michael Wilson at 7.2. Let's see, the Cardinals defense / special teams is projected at 9.9. Let's see, the kicker Matt Prater is projected to score 7.5 points, and then you have Josh Dobbs at 15.1 points.
Okay, well, there's the points on that one. Now, this is going to be an interesting matchup right here.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be filling in the blanks with the San Francisco 49ers right now. So so the 49ers, we'll actually start with the wide receivers. Deebo Samuel is projected at 14.3, and then Brandon Ayuk, coming off that monster performance in Pittsburgh, is projected at 13.9 points. Christian McCaffrey, let's see reaction to this one, guys.
22-3, that's respectable.
Yeah, and then Elijah.
That's why I drafted him.
Yeah, that was a good call. I mean, and then it forced me to alter my draft strategy a little bit on night one. I was hoping I could steal him with the 9th overall pick, but I knew you were too good to not let him pass up on draft night. George Kittle no longer has the question mark next to him. He's at 11.4 points. Juwan Jennings is at 3.5 points.
I snuck him into that flex area.
Yeah, and then you wonder about Deebo and Brandon Ayuk, and we had that question about with the wide receivers. Deebo Samuel is still available. No,
I think Deebo has lost his number one status.
Yeah, but I think that he's healthy though, so that could be something to consider here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to be filling out the rest of the numbers here for your purposes for the San Francisco 49ers.
That's the Michigan State kicker.
Yeah, Jake Moody, the rookie that was drafted. I think he was drafted in like the 3rd or 4th round. Yeah, out of Michigan. Yep. And then in terms of the Rams, Matthew Stafford is projected at 6.4 points. And would you believe it or not, we're gonna make a little adjustment here, because Kyle Williams right now is looking has a higher projected total than Cam Akers, because he had 2 touchdowns, I believe, in week 1 here. So
that sounds like a sleeper to me.
Yeah, he definitely is. And then then of course we have newcomers for the Rams who of course dominated on Sunday. So like and Kua what came out to be big here, and we're gonna put down their projections. But that was I did not think the Rams were gonna go up to Seattle and win, guys, despite Cooper Cup not being there.
Yeah, of course, Cooper Cup has had some issues over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I really could not draft him for any stretch of the imagination. I just didn't have the guts to do that.
So, Coop got 12.1, 2, 10.5. Tyler Higbee at 10.
That's definitely the ex-Dallas kicker.
Brett the Fret. Yeah, he so looking at those kind of numbers, I think I see a little bit of domination, but not too much. I'll explain that a little bit later. I was going to say, before we get to the next game, we have another fantasy question. This comes to us from Super CMB Challengers. Should I trade away Miles Sanders for Alvin Kamara?
No. Kamara's still suspended. Next.
That's pretty much as simple answer as we can give you there, buddy. So, we don't have any more questions right now, so we'll go to my game.
And of course, we're going to start with the Jets on this one. Zach Wilson is projected at 15.3 points here.
Very generous.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the lowest number I've seen so far for a kicker. With Greg Zuerlein.
There's another former Cowboy and a former Ram.
So wouldn't it be something if the Jets somehow won this game on a Greg Zuerlein field goal?
Oh my goodness! Don't even put that in my mind.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I have the Cowboys are 7.5-point favorites.
Right. Yeah, they are. And their defense is going to hold court.
I might have to have a different kicker this week, huh?
Well, Brandon Aubrey, I know he missed that. I think he missed that one extra point. But I thought this kid was all right. So who do we got with the flex with the Jets?
Yes.
Stay with Harbin.
Yeah. So it is not going to be it's not going to be Mecole Hardman right now, who is a part of that wide receiver 3. It's none other than Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb, the former Packer, along with Aaron Rodgers, but yeah. Now we go look at the Cowboys side of things.
Yep. Yeah, and
12.4 for the defense. Yeah, that defense, like Michael Irvin said, that defense is just like KFC. Finger looking good.
Yeah,
Pollard at 17.4. That was pretty good. $5.1 for the 4th-year guy, Rico. 16.2 for CD. 9.8 for Brandon Cooks. Jake Ferguson at 8.2. Michael Gallup at 5. Cowboys defense has to do at 12.4. So, but I think our defense is just going to be a little bit too much for Zach Wilson to handle. So,
I mean, the fact that ESPN is for outscoring is putting the Cowboys defense special teams at 12.4. That I believe that's the highest number I've seen all day. For for a defense/special teams projection.
Yeah, so we'll see how that one goes. Of course, I've got my boys going all day. We got our picks coming up in just a little bit. We have another question.
Oh,
Jorge Senor TD, what's up, guys? Should I trade Carbonet for Kelly Williams or Hill?
so Zach Charbonnet for Joshua Kelly, I'm presuming Kyron Williams or Justice Hill. I mean, they all had solid week 1 performances. So, but I have a feeling that the Rams might be cooking up something with Charbonnet later on in the season. So I mean, I for the time being, you can pick up Kyron Williams, but keep your eye on Charbonnet as the season progresses.
Yeah, I would kind of put that ball of Charbonnet on ice. I keep that thing, so yeah, but he could be one of the good sleepers here in the league in the early part of the season. So we just covered the Jets and the Cowboys. Let us go to the next game. Commanders at Broncos.
Yep, Sam
And
Howell
filled
is.
in the numbers there.
Yep, and then you have the Commanders defense at 10.7, Joey Sly at 7.1. I just quickly glanced at ESPN for who is the highest projected defense total for points. The Cowboys are number 1 right now, and number 2 is the Giants at 11.8.
Really, the
Really?
Giants. The Giants.
I mean, I think of who the Giants are going up against.
Yeah.
At least they got the starting running back. I have the starting running back, I think.
Yeah. Terry McLaurin 13, Dodson 11.7, Brian Robinson at 10.7. And
So that is Washington's number 1 receiver.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin. It's always been that.
Is he worth starting?
I mean, that's a really good question. Because it's a kind of a tricky matchup with Denver's defense, but I definitely think if he is if you're thin at wide receiver, you're probably gonna want to start him.
Good. Yeah.
Logan Thomas, he's projected at 8.0 points. Curtis Samuel is at 8.9, and then in terms of Denver, we'll work our way up on this front.
Uh-huh.
It's 11.3 points to the Broncos defense. Will Lutz, the former Saint, at 7.6. Let's see now. Javonte Williams is at 14.8. Samaje Perine is projected at 9.4. Russell Wilson is projected at 18.6 points, I believe. Yes, it is. And then so far we have as our 3 wide receivers here, we have yeah. So here we go.
Will he actually play?
See, I think right now he's listed as questionable, but I definitely think that he's gonna be there's a good chance he's gonna be in the lineup for.
Well, he's the number 2.
Yeah. It's most certainly. And in fact, Jerry Jeudy's might be projected at more than Cortland Sutton here, but we have that. We have so we have a new person at tight end here, and his name is Adam Troutman. So he picked up 8.4 points on Sunday against the Raiders, and so far he's projected at a couple of points lower than that. So 6.5 there. And then among all the flex options, the highest rated is still Brandon Johnson, who is projected at 3.5 over there.
Hmm.
All right, so is you ready for the next game?
Sunday Night Football, I believe.
It's a Sunday nighter.
Yes. Yep. So we got the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Why don't we take a look at some of the early numbers that I'm seeing here?
Yeah.
All right, so Jason Sanders 8.1, the Dolphins defense at 10.9. Tua Tagovailoa is projected at 21.3 points, and then we're going to look at it's at Raheem Mostert, who is projected at 12.4. Then we have a new RB2 for this Salvin Ahmed, who is projected to have 4.7. Tyreek Hill projected at 22, which is I believe the highest number I've seen for wide receivers so far today.
Oh, I could expect that. It may be a little bit
Player
more.
that killed my team, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't know how much of a difference it would have made in terms of the win and loss in our matchup, Dino, but it definitely made it easier for me to relax this weekend.
So
All right.
pretty solid numbers for the aqua and white.
Yeah,
Or aqua and orange, as my man Alex would say. Over to the Patriots side.
Yep, and then you'll see the numbers as we move along here.
I still don't get why he left the Chiefs to join New England. I'm taking my Super Bowl ring and
and then Mike Gesicki. And actually, believe it or not, Hunter Henry is projected top scoring tight end here. And I know I think Hunter Henry's he had 16.6 points in fantasy, so I think he's bumped up now to the to the number one tight end for the time being for the New England Patriots.
So, look at those numbers here. Patriots gonna have another long day there. Hey, we got something very unusual for week 2. We have a Monday doubleheader on 2 different networks.
Yeah, we had that last year.
Well, we have that. Well, both covered by ESPN, but of course one is ABC and the other one ESPN. There's Saints and Panthers, the NFC South matchup actually. Crunch those numbers, baby.
All right, so here you go. They're starting off.
All right, 17-3 for Derek Carr. I guess I got a new nickname for him. Derek, baby, you can drive my car. For all you Beatles fans out there. Jamal Williams at 13-2. Chris Olave, great young receiver, projected at 14-5. Michael Thomas, 11-4. Juwan Johnson, tight end at 7-5. Rashid Shaheed at 9-11. Saints defense at 11.1. And Blake Group A, 7-9. Get the numbers for Carolina. Sanders 13-7. DJ Chark at 8.8.
All right.
Team.
By the way, Hayden Hurst caught a touchdown. I think the Bengals could have used him on Sunday.
Oof.
Oh, yeah. Jonathan Mingo.
All right. Bryce Young is only projected at 14.6 points, which is something. Yeah, and then here are the rest of your numbers there.
There's the rest of that.
All right, and so then with all those things being considered here, we will now go to the Monday Night Football game, and I think this is going to be the Joe Buck Troy Aikman broadcast.
The Browns and the Steelers, man, those Browns, they meant business last week in the Battle of Ohio.
Yeah, no questions about it. And the Browns defense, surprise, told you. And I mean, it's crazy that Natal, I think you had the Browns winning 7 games. Tim had the Browns winning 5 games. I had them winning 10 games and going. And I had. And I mean, and the thing was, during the Sunday 1:00 and 4:25 games, I went 2-11 against the spread. The only 2 games I got right were the Eagles and the Patriots, and the Browns and the Bengals. I mean that was pretty bad. Would you say?
Yeah, it could sting a little bit.
Yeah, my God, yeah. Anyway, Nick Chubb. Yeah, but then we have the same lineup as for the Browns.
There's the ex-Jets player.
David Njoku has 9.3. Donovan Peoples-Jones at 6.4. And then it leads us to the last team of the night, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I believe Deontay Johnson's going to miss a few weeks.
Yeah, I know. Which is why I think things are going to change on that front.
Yeah.
I anticipate George Pickens will be number 1 now.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Because one of the reasons I picked the Steelers to go to the playoffs was the Pickett to Pickens connection being very good, but the 49ers turned them into double agents on Sunday.
Yeah.
And Najee Harris is a clear bust candidate this year.
I put him in my cinemas this week for a reason.
Yeah. And then you have George Pickens, who's now wide receiver 1 officially. I'm looking at my board here. So Pickens.
That's why I drafted him. I had a feeling he was gonna steal the spot one day, and he did.
Yeah, I wanted to draft Pickens too, but I wasn't sure. I wanted to find the right value for him, and I was hoping he would be available in like round 9 or 10, so I could get him as a steal. But of course the tally, and of course there's a reason both of us have 79% chances according to ESPN to make our playoffs. Yeah. So here you go.
That's going to be pretty nice. That's going to be a pretty nice matchup there in the AFC North Division.
Yeah.
Those are the matchups, and those are the numbers. Now let's get to some real important numbers.
See, I mean, I really don't want to show people how embarrassing my picks were last week against the spread, but with all that being said, let me retrieve it here. Give me a second, and there were every single game. Natalie and Tim picked the same team in terms of the winners and losers, but but what I can tell you is that Natalie and Tim don't know this yet. Is that there are actually 3 games this week where Tim and Natalie disagreed here. So I'm going to pull the. So give me a couple of minutes for me to pull this up here.
Yeah.
But I will give straight up. We all went 8-8. Um, and then so then Allah, here you go, and here are your picks. So I went 5-11 against the spread. Tim and Natalie went 7-9, and here you go. If I can.
All right, goes here. So
First time ever, first place.
So yeah, against the spread, yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
I mean,
I would say 9. Wow, we all went 8-8 straight up. Wow.
Because there were 4 games in which I was different from the 2 of you. We split those games, and
All right.
yeah, I think the most striking thing about this is that I have the Titans winning this game outright because I think Mike Vrabel against Brandon Staley is not a fair fight, and I felt the Titans played relatively well on Sunday despite playing against a tough Saints team.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually picked the Ravens. Yeah, I think you read my post wrong. I have the Ravens winning that one.
No, I have the Ravens. Tim's got the Bengals. I've got the Bengals. You have Baltimore.
Yeah, I see it. I see.
I'm looking at my column. I think you listed me as Bengals by mistake.
No. So the team you picked is to your left. So
yeah, it's the way he has things set up. It's like a little bit confusing, but just look very carefully.
yes.
So,
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Flynn's got the Eagles at 34-17. We all got the Eagles. We all got the Dirty Birds. We all got the Bills. And I should let everyone know that this week I'm locking the Bills.
And I am locking the Giants.
Oh yeah, you got the Giants against the Cardinals, and you have them 33-10. So Mr. Flynn is going to lock the New York Giants.
And for what I'm seeing, the largest margin of victory I have for Natalie is the 49ers winning 32-16. So I'm sure he's going to lock in the San Francisco 49ers.
My lock for the Niners?
All right, so let's see here. Actually, the 49ers and Rams.
Yeah.
You can see that I'm taking the Niners with the victory, but I'm taking the Rams with points.
Yeah, I could see where you're going because with Sean McVay because trying to employ some new tools there. So I could totally see where you're going on that front. But you have the Cardinals covering there, so that's going to be interesting to see how that holds and what the Giants do week 2. So Natalie's differing with the Bears. Natalie's differing from us with the Ravens. Natalie's differing from us with the Saints and the Browns. So
that the Browns one shocked me. I thought all of us were going to be Browns for sure.
Yeah, but I think the thing with this, and I mean, I have both of these teams going to the playoffs, and when we did all those division previews, I said that the Steelers and Browns were going to split with each team winning at home, so
right.
that's why I picked the Steelers. I mean, I cannot pick the Broncos to cover 3.5. It feels like a field goal game, so that's why I'm grabbing the points with Washington. It's, I'm interested that why we're all picking the Texans. I just think the Texans have the better coach, the better defense.
Yeah.
So which is why
Yeah,
I picked the Texans.
that was a true coin flip. That was really a hard one.
Yeah. I mean, what was your hardest game of the week for you guys to pick in terms of winners and losers?
That one, the Colts and the Titans.
The
Yeah,
Colts,
first Colts and Titans. Colts and
Colts-
Titans is practically a
Yeah.
pick 'em.
the Colts and the Texans.
Colts and Texans.
Yeah, Colts and
if it's
Texans.
if it's a pick 'em, you usually go with the home team.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's certainly not a game I would touch if you're in Survivor leagues this season. I certainly couldn't touch the Lions -5.5 because I feel like it's a game that's going to go down to the wire like it did last year. A game that went 48-45 last year, and both teams did pretty much bring back the same teams to that street fight.
Yeah. So looks like we all got Dallas Winnie Lane covered.
Yep.
Well, I've got Broncos.
We all.
Dolphins.
Yeah. I've got the Panthers winning outright. The Tally's got the Saints to win and to cover. But the reason why I couldn't pick against the Saints against the Panthers is because I think Frank Reich is going to outcoach Dennis Allen here, and I feel like the two teams are going to split the season series.
Yeah, they could. We have another fancy question.
Yeah.
Ricky AA says, should I pick up Dobbs or Zay Jones from waivers?
Oh, Dobbs. If Christian Watson's not going to go for a few weeks, yeah, he's the guy for Jordan Love. It's Dobbs.
Well, there you go, Ricky. It's Dobbs. So Watson's out, so Dobbs should be put into your lineup. So go ahead and take care of that. And hopefully everybody takes care of their fantasy rosters before the start of Thursday night's games. Of course, Thursday night starts with the Vikings and the Eagles.
Yeah. So, or as Tim would call them, the chicken.
The Philadelphia chickens.
Yeah, but I don't know if you saw this. You watched the ebb and flow of that game. Don't you feel like something's off with the Eagles this year? It could be just me, but it feels like something is off with this team.
I mean, it's only one game; it's hard to tell.
Yeah. I can't really pinpoint what that slight problem would be, but if it is a problem, I don't think it would be anything to sneeze at. I don't think it'd be anything to worry about.
Yeah, but I do think the Eagles are the third best team in the NFC behind the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Oh, interesting. Oh, we have another question. Jack says, I'm the commissioner. Is this trade fair for 12-man PPR draft? Pollard, Judy, and Pacheco for Wilson, Gibbs, and JSN.
Jackson Smith and Jigba of the Seahawks. Ooh, so you got a running back.
Two running backs and a receiver in that first one.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, this is probably for the flex option, really. So I think it's a fair trade.
Interesting. I mean, he has some pretty young guys out there: Tony Pollard, Jerry Judy, Isaiah Pacheco, Garrett Wilson, Jameer Gibbs, and Jackson's there. So, well. I mean, if they sound it's pretty fair, that's what they're saying. But of course, it's all up to you. It's all up to you, Jack. So, but that's our predictions, or that's our opinions on that. So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and then I think we're gonna really see what's gonna go on, and I know in my Hook on Sports show that that I went 4-12 against the spread just because with that Chiefs Lions game when we picked on Tuesday the spread was Kansas City -6, but then I -6.5. I had the Chiefs winning by 6, so I had the Lions at the points, but it got knocked down to 4.5. So had the Lions not scored that touchdown, I would have won both picks. So, and I was really pissed about it because I knew so that it was going to be a golden pick for me.
Yeah, well, another great show.
Indeed.
Another great show. Thanks for your questions, guys. Y'all are making the show more interesting every week. And we appreciate it. That's why we're here. That's why we give you the information. Ask us the questions. We'll see if we can get those answers to you. So I'm about to put a bow on this episode here. So y'all get your fantasy roster situated.
Yeah,
Get it ready.
And now it's time to visit the waiver wire.
Yeah, hit the waiver wire time. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I was hoping y'all do that too. So does anybody have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one place to go for me in the spread department, but up.
There you go, Sally.
Yeah. Well, this was a very interesting week one. Just very sad to see what happened to Rodgers down in 4 plays.
Oh yeah. We never even talked about what happened last night.
We haven't even talked about that.
The funniest meme moment, not quite related to Aaron Rodgers, was I saw a graphic that said Josh Allen had more pass completions to Jets receivers than Aaron Rodgers.
0.
That's cold.
And all 3 interceptions were by Jordan Whitehead.
By the same guy.
It was like Rod Martin back in the Super Bowl between the Raiders and the Eagles. The star linebacker for the Raiders.
Or in the Super Bowl between the Cowboys and the Steelers when Neil O'Donnell threw to Larry Brown.
Twice in the second half.
Right.
I mean, those are throws that you would have seen from Mr. Trubisky when Matt Nagy was coaching him in Chicago. And now Matt Nagy's the offensive coordinator with the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anything from you, Natalie?
That's about it. Just this week one has been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And let's hope Rodgers makes a comeback next season, better, stronger than ever.
Yeah. Also, Chris Jones, we never touched on him.
He got his money.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean the Chiefs had to do it because they clearly missed Chris Jones in the fourth quarter on Thursday night.
Yeah, but after this great first week, I've only got one thing to say.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, y'all saw that coming. I mean, I had said that. And it just might be another walk in the park this Sunday against the Jets. But,
and I saw this wishful thinking, but I saw this graphic rolling around. Wishful thinking.
Gosh.
Oh my God. I think we know someone that would have been a Giants fan if that happened, but
They may want to pin for the Jets now. Now they have that.
Yeah.
And they're trying to lure. Rumor has it they're trying to lure Colin Kaepernick to the Jets.
I mean, Matt Ryan could leave out of CBS on the Andrew Catalan broadcast.
But there's still Carson Wentz, Nick Foles.
You can't sign Wentz. You can't do that. He was the reason Washington missed the playoffs last year. If Taylor Heineke started all 17 games last year, the Commanders are a playoff team.
Maybe Nick Foles.
be.
Or maybe we can start Flynn at quarterback for the Jets.
We're gonna start Timothy McClellan against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh hell no. No, I think we better just go ahead and close this up. But as Coach says,
Hello? You play to win the game.
so I think on that very awkward note, I think we're just going to close up shop for tonight. It's been a great show. I love the new format. I think it's better than it has been in recent years. Y'all don't forget to listen to Mr. John Flynn, Hooked on Sports. Those 3 links we usually put in the description area. Click on any one of those, and you'll get to him. And of course, our commissioner, John Natale, who helps put this thing together. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
So good night, Mr. Flynn.
Good night, Tim.
Good night, Mr. Natale.
Good night.
And to all of you out there, thanks for watching the show. Enjoy the games. Catch us next Tuesday night. Till then, take care. God bless you. As always, be a good sport. And
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Good night, everybody.